Hi, welcome back YouTube. This is a Frugal Millennial, and this week we're looking at 5 ways to invest $10,000. Here we go. So before you start investing that $10,000, the number one thing you should be doing is reduce or neutralize your debt, because debts can snowball into more debt. And if you're thinking, maybe I can put that $10,000 into investment that will help me pay off my debt, then you're running into a very sticky and risky situation because you need to beat that market. For example, if you have a credit card debt, which right now is around about 21% per annum, you need to put in an investment that can give you a return of 21% plus. So that's very difficult. Even the greatest mutual fund managers can't achieve that. So straight off the bat, if you have a debt right now, go off and pay this as soon as possible, and then you can come back and watch the video. So there's good debt and bad debt. Today I only go through it briefly, but in the near future I'll demonstrate this in more depth. Bad debts include credit cards, car loans, student loans, personal loans, and mortgages on negatively geared houses. I have a few properties that are positively geared, and I consider them to be good debts because I actually get more money than I'm paying out in mortgages per month. If you're going to buy a house in the near future and you're going to take out a home loan, reducing debt can actually help you get more money from the bank, because banks look at your credit score. It's a score set by the banks to evaluate whether you're a responsible person and can look after a loan and not get into too much debt. So reduce your debt now means more borrowing power in the future. Before you start, you need to also have an emergency fund. This is a 6-month worth of funds to sustain your life in case you lose a job or become critically ill. In order to work out the emergency fund, you need to work out how much you spend per month on groceries, bills, medicals, etc., and multiply that by 6. Then you should leave this emergency fund in one of the top higher interest rate accounts that I mentioned in one of my other videos, where you can get up to 3% per annum in interest. So once you've eradicated your debt and put money towards your emergency fund, now you can invest your $10,000. These are the topics of where I would invest $10,000 into for passive income. And this means the kind of set and forget investment with a bit of work at the beginning. These are ranked according to the risk and investment return. Number 5 on the list is high yield savings account. As I mentioned before, I've done a video on this recently where you can save up to 3% per annum on your savings, and the link is on the page right now. Number 4 on the list of ways to invest $10,000 is bonds. And typically, bonds have a return on investment of 3 to 5%. When companies or government want to raise money, they can borrow money from investors in form of bonds. So if you buy bonds, you essentially become the investor or the lender, and they will pay you an interest, typically 3 to 5%. You'll get your money back in face value once a certain time has lapsed or once the bond has matured. Bonds are typically lower risk compared to properties and shares, and higher risk compared to cash or savings. They can either be government owned, which is low risk, or company owned, which is higher risk. You can trade this on the ASX or Australian Stock Exchange. I mainly invest in government bonds because I believe they're more secure than the company bonds. Now, if you want to find out more about bonds, go to moneysmart.gov.au on the page. Number 3 on the list is shares, index funds, and ETFs, which can give you a whopping return of 9.4% per annum. When you buy shares, you essentially buy a slice of the company, and this can hold risk if you put money in one stock. This is why I like to diversify and put equal amounts of money in different sectors, which includes consumer discretionary, consumer staples, energy, financials, healthcare, industries, IT, materials, metal or mining, telco, utilities, and real estate. Majority of my money are in blue chip shares, or shares that have dominant hold on the stock exchange and are low risk, that provide goods and services that we rely on even during COVID times, like supermarket chains, very large biotech or healthcare companies, etc. I don't hold any shares in index funds, which are mutual funds that hold a few stocks on the stock market, and they try to mimic the financial market index. And this is usually managed by a group of people. They get your money and put it in a few companies, so instead of dumping all your money in one company, they spread it out to many companies, or this is called diversifying your portfolio. This way, the risk is spread across many companies, so if one company falls in a day, there might be another company within your fund that will rise to neutralize this. Because I work full-time as a scientist and also have a business on the side and impart my financial wisdom on YouTube, I sometimes don't have time to research shares, so I love ETFs. Now, ETFs or exchange traded funds are like index funds, but is traded more passively. Furthermore, they can be easily traded on the stock exchange at a cheaper commission rate than index funds. And often, ETFs require lower minimum investment and they are more tax friendly. Number 2 on the list is superannuation, which is much like the 401k in America. This is a fund that employers have to make compulsory contributions to during your working life for when you retire. It's like a mutual fund where a bunch of experts make financial decisions on how they will invest your money to make it grow or make your money work for you. The type of investments that superannuations invest into includes shares, property, cash, bonds, and other alternative investments. In front of you is the table of how much super you should have in your superannuation account for your age group. If you don't have this amount, make sure you make voluntary contributions today. Increase your voluntary contribution means that you're actually saving on tax, and you can save about 15%. And because you're already paying someone an annual fee to invest for you, you might as well put more money in rather than put towards shares or bonds where you have to pay extra on brokerage fees. And this, as a consequence, saves a lot of time because someone else is already investing for you. And on average, in the past 10 years, growth investment options in superannuation has delivered a median return of 7.7% per year. Now, before I tell you the number 1 pick that I have for investing $10,000 into, please like this video and subscribe to my channel because I have put a lot of effort and time into researching this video. And also, obviously, it will help my YouTube algorithm. And number 1 on the list of where and how I will invest my $10,000 is on properties. On average, property investment in Australia gives you a return of about 6.8% per annum in the last 25 years. This is just the return on house price and not including rental yield. I tend to search for properties that will give me a rental yield of about 4.5% or above. So on average, this is a return of 10% or more for me. As I stated at the start, I only purchase neutral or positively geared properties. And some people disagree because they believe in getting tax benefits from negatively geared properties. I'm in for the long haul, so I try and build up my credit score in order to borrow more from the bank. And why wouldn't you right now when the interest rate is so low? Some investors are surpassing this 10% per annum return, and I can understand how. For example, this nugget that I just found after a few hours of searching will give you an investment on return of almost 10%. For little as $10,000 deposit. This property is located 50 minutes drive to the CBD and is worth $100,000. This is a two-bedder situated near a river and conveniently located near school, hospital and also shops. And the area that it's located in has a low vacancy rate. Granted, the inside is a bit of a dud, but you can easily fix this by putting in, for example, in the bedroom, some cooking floorboards, and a lick of paint, and add in the kitchen a second-hand stove. Maybe you wouldn't spend more than $800 on renovations. So let's look at how the numbers stack up. In the first year, tax, fees and rates is about $3,600. Loan of about 2.6% per annum, which is on principal and interest, is about $4,440. If you were to do the renovations I mentioned before, let's round it up to about $1,000 for these superficial renovations, which you can do yourself, bringing the price of the property up to $130,000, giving you an improvement of $20,000. Scouting the internet, I found that a property like this rents out for about $200 per week, giving you a rental of $10,400 per annum. The median growth in this area is about 8% per annum, giving you a $10,400 return. Now, if you add up all the gains and subtract all the expenditures, you get a total of $31,760 for the first year, which is a return on investment of 31.76% per annum. Now, this is a set and forget type of investment, so in subsequent years, you get a total of $13,592, which is a return on investment of 13.59% per annum. If you want me to find a gem like this for your investment portfolio, you can contact me via my Instagram at @thefrugalsaver and I can help you out. So these are my top picks for where I will invest $10,000 to get passive income. Before I leave, I should mention that I'm not a financial advisor. You should consider seeking independent financial advice to check out how the information provided here relates to your own circumstances. If you want to follow me on social, you can find me on the handle The Frugal Saver on Instagram. Thanks for watching!